Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name's Farah Halabi and I'm a professional Muslimah life coach, and I'd like to ask you a question. How do you define yourself? How do you describe, explain, put your version of yourself out there in the world? How do you do that? By what definitions? How do you go about putting out into the world the version of yourself, or the way in which you act, the way in which you behave, what you do, how you live your life? How is that defined, and how do you define it? Now, I was speaking with a client of mine and we were talking about her ideals, how she thinks that things should be in her life. And I asked her a question. If she had carte blanche, she had a completely blank canvas, she had free reign, she had a week in her life where she was not doing anything or being anyone as defined by cultural expectation, societal expectation, familial, family expectation, and also how she felt religiously she should be. What would she do? Who would she be? What would her week look like? And she was stumped for a fair while. There was a lot of silence. Because when we go to what we think we should be doing, what's expected of us, what we play, the expectations that we place on ourselves, in the absence of that, who are we? What do we do? How do we live this life? And not just in the absence of cultural, societal and familial norms and traditions, our perceptions of what society wants from us, our perceptions of what we think our families expect of us, our perceptions, assumptions, beliefs and thinking about what our culture means for us. With religious influence, if you like, on us, it's again what we think or how we think our faith powers what we do. But it's only our perception of our faith, what we think we should be doing as Muslims, or even what we do and we think it is, under a kind of religious umbrella. But when we look at it, is it really? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, there is no compulsion in our faith. There is no compulsion, that belief is a choice, that what we do is a choice. How we live our lives is from that greatest gift that he gave us, the gift of free will. So in the absence of what we think is expected from us, from families, our culture, our community, the social norms, how we perceive our religion, to what that means for us, what would you do? What would you do tomorrow if you had none of that? Who would you be? What would your life look like? And then when we really unpick what that means for us, so I'll tell you what my client said this morning. It was so overwhelming for her. She was like, well, I don't know what I'd do, but I know what I wouldn't do. And again, we can go to what we won't do, what we don't want to feel, what we don't want to happen in lives. My clients can tell me all day long how they don't want their life to look. But if you put the lens on what they really want, without the constraints or without the framework of what is expected, and actually what is pleasing, what is serving, what is joyful, what is fueled by excitement and curiosity and motivation, how does that land with you? Because if we are seeking if we define ourselves through comparison of others, through doing what's expected, but not through doing what is truly, like, not from, even our expectations are what we think they are. Because not everyone in the same demographic or the same, not everyone who is, I don't know, a Muslim 40-something-year-old, 4 kids, living in a certain type of home, in a certain place, will not have the exact same experience or thinking or beliefs or assumptions about our life as another 40-something-year-old Muslim in that same town, from the same demographic, with the same amount of kids, in the same kind of home. We're making it up as we go along. But if we were to change the parameters, change the lens, and go to what serves us, and the way in which we would get that is, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want from us? He didn't put us here to be racked with this overwhelming, guilt-tripped kind of life. He tells us in Surah Al-Imran, I believe it is, let me just double check, I believe it is, that we are the best of people. Surah Al-Imran, you are the best of nations. So when we compare ourselves to others, we're erroneously thinking that they're better than us. That they've got the scoop, that they've got an inside track, that they know and we don't. But if you look at how he speaks to us, it's almost like we've elevated everyone else to a higher station than us. So we're always going to be playing catch up. We're always going to be less than. We're always going to be doing worse than. So we're going to look to those who are doing better, but not doing better in terms of what serves us. Not doing better in, acts of ibadah or elevating that kind of status. What we think, academically maybe, where they are in their lives, where they are with, I don't know, the amount of kids they've got, or where they are in their business, or where they live, or what kind of home they have, or what kind of clothes they wear, or whatever it is. If we're always putting ourselves on the kind of like back burner and we're elevating everyone else above us and think that they're doing better and that we're flailing behind, what are we trying to catch up to? Who are we? What kind of person are we trying to be? Because there has never been anyone like you. There will never be anyone like you. You are the best at being you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make any mistakes. So first of all, really accepting and really believing and really hearing and seeing and understanding and letting it land and resonate in your heart. You are the best of people. And that is every one of us. So, in order to stop comparing yourself to others, you get to choose. You have the greatest gift of free will. There is nowhere to get to. You're already the best version of yourself right now. Doesn't mean you don't have to strive. Doesn't mean you don't have, you don't have to seek to do better. But better in terms of what you can achieve, not better in terms of where other people are, or who they are, or how they live their lives. So if you are struggling right now because you think everyone else around you is doing much better, look at the definition that you've used to define better. Go to your internal dictionary and see what you mean by better. And look around you and then take a pause and then look back inside. What have you done? Who are you? What can you give gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala right now about you? What are you grateful for in your life about you right now? Grateful for the gifts that He's given you. Grateful for you being here. Grateful for the ability to actually ask yourself these questions. What is it that you're grateful for right now in your world, in your life, about you? And start there, because subhanAllah, when we are grateful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us He will give you more. He won't just give us more, He'll give us more and more. See how that works out for you. See how that, when you look at yourself through the lens of gratitude, not the lens of comparison, what changes? I'd love to know. And if you'd like some help with that overwhelm, with that guilt, with that, you know, comparing yourself and feeling that you've got, you know, that you're lacking, that you are playing catch up. If you want some real help to help you see what you have, what you bring to the world, and what you can create with the will and permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then let me know. You can message me or you can email me on connect@farahhalabi.com. And inshallah, as always, I pray that you are safe, well, happy and healthy, and I'll pop on tomorrow for another little convo. But for now, take care. Assalamu alaikum.